Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? What is good? The king of lightning here today, bringing you guys and gals absolute unadulterated tilt. We're talking about people getting pissed as all hell because we are going to talk about the top 30 strongest One Piece characters as of 2017. This video comes from Brago DS's channel. We're on his channel. There'll be a link in the box below to it. Check it out. He does a 9-hour live stream with other YouTubers and other cats like Master J, like Dritz, like Ty and Dustin and One Vision, and they have their top 30 list of who are the strongest One Piece characters. And then there's another stream that he did on his channel where I was a part of it for like, I think an hour, like an hour and a half, and that's a 5-hour stream. So this guy has basically around 14 hours of just stream on the top on the top 30 strongest One Piece characters with a lot of their cats. So this is my video on the matter. And yes, I am late on this one. I do apologize, but as I always say, better late than never. I'm going to give you guys and gals my list on the top 30 strongest characters in One Piece WA as of 2017. Now, there are a few rules to this list that I need to read before I get started. Number one, we're looking at the characters from a strength standpoint, meaning an overall combat ability standpoint. So not just their physical raw strength, but also their DC, what they can destroy, their speed, their range, their abilities, their, so on and so forth. The overall combat ability spectrum here. Number two is that when it comes to characters that are allowed, no dead characters, so Whitebeard, Ace, no Moss, no unknown characters, so like for example, the first in command of the Beast Pirates, Kaito's Pirates, we have no idea who this person is, so we can't throw him in there. No movie characters, so no Shiki, and then no non-canon characters. And then finally, the interplay between characters is for the most part irrelevant. Now that may sound a little bit strange, but I'll get into detail about that later on. But considering number one, where we're looking at overall combat ability here, again, the interplay between characters for the most part is irrelevant. And one last thing before we get started. The as of 2017, this means that we're trying to also gauge how powerful the characters are now. So even though some of these characters we haven't seen in combat since, let's say, pre-time skip, we're trying to gauge how powerful they are now. And we can only go so far with that, obviously, but you can make some fair assumptions given how this is a shonen like any other shonen. Without further ado, the top 30 strongest characters as of 2017. Now, the gatekeeper for the top 30, I would say, is Diamond Jozu. I am very comfortable when it comes to that choice. You see, Diamond Jozu, from a movement speed standpoint, isn't that fantastic, but when it comes from a reaction speed standpoint, he's solid. When it comes from a durability standpoint, he boasts probably one of the highest durabilities in the verse. And when it comes from a strength standpoint, he boasts one of the highest strengths in the verse. Because we know that armored Haki hardening is a thing, if he could, let's say, code his diamond in black armored Haki, his durability is among the top 5 in the verse, easy. From a base standpoint of Dufru power, he already could block the attacks of Dracul Mihawk. Not only that, but he gave Aokiji a shoulder charge and caught Aokiji off guard, and Aokiji was bleeding. So Diamond Jozu does have Haki to an extent when it comes to armored Haki. His Kamboshan Haki, I'm not too sure how good it is, but I would assume, based on his status and his rank, it is somewhat solid. I can't say it's good, but it's solid. It's good enough. But his main forte here is his durability and his strength. As of 2017, he has lost an arm because of Aokiji. That is true. Even though he's lost one arm, I don't see him being all that much weaker when it comes to his physical strength, because there is a shonen standard, you could say, where over the course of time, characters do tend to get stronger. Though in One Piece, unless you're like 68 years old or 70 years old, where your power takes a plunge, over the course of time, you do get stronger, mainly in shonen. And One Piece is no different for the most part. I would say comfortably, he's stronger now than he was back then, but not as strong as he would be if he had two arms. So when he lifted the iceberg and he threw the iceberg, that wasn't necessarily a casual feat, but it was a feat where he wasn't huffing and puffing afterwards. In the anime, he does that. He has a grin on his face, and then in the story, Akainu, he vaporizes the iceberg. But it wasn't that hard for him to throw an iceberg. So it could be harder for him to do that now with one arm, but I don't see him struggling that much to do the same thing now. So his strength, I would say, has upped, but again, not as much as it should if he had 2 arms. And his durability, I don't doubt, has increased. Yeah, he lost an arm, but his diamond body is still a thing. It's still there. So, Diamond Jozu, I'm very comfortable when it comes to him being the gatekeeper. Number 29, Trafalgar D Water Law. Now, Law physically, he's actually pretty solid because he can fend off Flamingo's attacks physically. But his main thing here is the power. His Haki is alright. His Kamboshan Haki, I would assume, is alright. When it comes to his Armored Haki, we did see him block a few of Dofi's attacks. So it's okay Armored Haki. And he has no Conqueror's Haki as far as we know. As far as we know. But his main forte for combat is his Dufu power. And his Dufu power is fairly broken. And fairly broken to save the least. With the Gamma Knife, he can actually damage eternal organs. His powers in themselves have a huge range given his sphere, given his dome. And within that zone, he can do crazy things like poke out the spirits of people and then flip them around and switch their bodies. He can cut through pretty much anything because his powers do no damage, but as a result, he can bypass defense entirely, which is kind of scary. The dude himself can operate on a cellular level. We see that with the kids of Punk Hazard, where he can remove whatever Caesar Clown gave him with the candy. He can remove what's going on in their bodies with that. On top of that, he can switch himself with objects by teleporting. It's crazy. The OP no Mi is truly OP indeed. And then there are some cases where he can make his room massive. We saw that in Dressrosa, where he could sustain a very, very large room, but as a result, he did lose some lifespan. But at the same time, we saw what happened in Punk Hazard, where he cut through Virgo, and he cut through several ice mountains. Every person that reads and watches One Piece, they know this moment where Law cuts through that mountain range, and it's like, bro, Trafalgar D, my goodness, baby. So, Law has a very impressive fruit, but he is lacking in the Haki game, and physically he's alright. So number 29 is Trafalgar D Water Law. Number 28, Boa Hancock. Now, Boa Hancock is very impressive from an ability standpoint, as well as a physical standpoint, as well as a Haki standpoint. Now, I would assume that her Kamboshan Haki is on point, and we know that her Armor Haki is on point as well, because we did see her kick Smoker back during the Marineford War, and you can't do that unless you have Armored Haki. And then on top of that, when it comes to her Conqueror's Haki, we know that she has it. Now, we haven't seen her actually use it to, like, let's say, knock out people, but she does affect other people in various ways via her beauty, where she's so beautiful in their minds, and that's probably because of the Conqueror's Haki kind of amplifying her beauty in a certain way. That's my own theory, but I'll get to that in another video. Oh, trust me, I'll get to that in another video. Boa Hancock is well-versed in the 3 Hakis, also considering how she lives on Amazon Lily. And on Amazon Lily, Haki is a well-known thing. From a Haki standpoint, she is on point. From an ability standpoint, she has range with her stone arrows or her slave arrows, and then the kiss pistol. She has a lot of hand-to-hand combat skills, where physically she's very nimble, very agile, her reaction speed's on point, her movement speed's on point, and then on top of all of that, when she hits you, you turn to stone as you get hit. And as far as we know, there's no real way of negating the physical attacks when it comes to you turn to stone, unless you're Logia, to where you can change the composition of your body. Or if you're Paramecia, like Katakuri, where you can change that part of your body's composition, okay, fine, you can negate that. But if you can't do that, then you're gonna turn to stone, and you're gonna take massive damage via Hancock's attacks. So Boa Hancock is a very devastating fighter. From an ability standpoint, physically, Haki, she has it all, really. And also, I do want to say, when it comes to, at this point in time, now that we know that Armor Haki hardening is a thing, I can't speak for her Kamboshan Haki, but I would assume that would raise over the course of time. But when it comes to Armor Haki hardening, if she can use that in tandem with her striking attacks that already turn you into stone, oh, I mean, come on now. Yeah, Boa Hancock, fierce. Very fierce. Top 30 for a damn good reason. Number 27. the Vice Warden of Impel Down, currently former Warden of Impel Down, Magellan. Now, Magellan, from a Haki standpoint, is not that impressive pre-time skip, honestly. That's keeping it real. Now, currently, I would assume that that has risen. There's no way he has Conqueror's Haki, but he probably has solid Armored Haki, maybe Hardening, and I would assume he has solid Kambotional Haki. That's my guess. Physically speaking, he's okay as well. We have seen Magellan from a strength standpoint, and he's okay, he's solid. But from a durability standpoint, from an endurance standpoint, he is pretty beefy. I remember during Impel Down, Ivankov's right-hand man or chick, the guy with the scissors, he was throwing these stone pillars at Magellan, and all Magellan was doing was blocking them with his forearms. Magellan does have some solid durability and solid endurance, definitely. But his main forte is easily the Doku Doku, or the Doki Doki, whatever it's called. The dude has the poison fruit, and the poison fruit is lethal. It is extremely lethal. From a neurotoxin standpoint, he can attack with his poison not only in liquid form, but also in gas form as well. When he spits out certain globs of poison, they kind of linger there, and then they cause the area that he's in to be filled with this poison noxious gas. He has the Venom Demon Poison category, where he can poison inanimate objects as well. So this dude is lethal. And on top of that, physically speaking, I remember when Luffy tried to do a bazooka against Magellan, Luffy's hands were coated in poison. So he has like a poison arm around him too. So touching Magellan is potentially lethal. It's nutty. Magellan, woo! Now here's what I think a lot of folks would say though. Well, Law, we know, can remove the poison out of the kids' bodies. So if Law fought Magellan, he could probably nerf a lot of Magellan's poison. And that's probably true. However, even if Law could beat Magellan in a fight, we're not talking about the interplay between characters. We're talking about who are the strongest One Piece characters. And from an overall combat ability standpoint, the Haki game, like with Law, Magellan is lacking. The physical body game, Magellan has, but Law doesn't have that, necessarily speaking. And when it comes to the Devil Fruit game, you can say that Law is superior because his fruit is really broken, but from a combat standpoint, Law doesn't really do any damage. It's still a broken ability with the Gamma Knife and that kind of stuff, but his base attacks in his room don't do much damage, though his room can be vast. But Magellan's abilities are lethal from jump, extra lethal from jump. There's a reason why Crocodile and Jinbei were sweating Magellan hard. They were sweating him hard as piss, like, ooh, Magellan, whoa, no, run. Because Magellan has the ability to decimate anybody. There is an antidote, but in the midst of combat, that's not gonna be available probably. And as a result, Magellan, he is above Law from an overall combat ability standpoint, as well as Hancock, because his ability, I think, carries him that far ahead, in all honesty. So number 27, Magellan, the Vice Warden currently of Impel Down. Now, here's where things get tricky, because I know a lot of folks are gonna say, huh, what, nutty, nutty, oh my god, what the man? Okay, number 26, Kami NL, Lightning God NL, my boy, my dude, the guy that you see in the intro, yeah, yes, NL, over Magellan, over Hancock, over Law, over Joseph. Let's get out of the way here now. NL lost to pre-time skip Luffy. In fact, he lost to pre-gear Luffy. He had no gear 2, he had no gear 3. But for the most part, we all should know, everybody and their great-grandmother should know, the great-grandmother of God knows, that this predominantly comes down to the power matchup between Luffy and NL, where Luffy is rubber, so he can negate all of NL's major attacks. But he did figure out that rubber was weak to piercing attacks, so he made a trident, and Luffy couldn't hit NL because of NL's mantra, his Kambotional Haki, but Luffy did figure out a way to actually hit NL, get NL reeling after the taco via the bazooka and the rifle. I'm weakened, I'm gonna kick him off the damn ship, and then that's when the majority of the NL and Luffy chase begins. Essentially speaking, what we have here is, from a durability standpoint, And from an endurance standpoint, NL is actually quite low. Because again, this is a pre-Gears Luffy who ultimately knocked out NL. Well, knocked out kinda, because NL at the end of the arc, he was still conscious and he said, you know, screw this, I'm going up to the moon. End of story. From an endurance standpoint, NL is not bad. But from a durability standpoint, he is low. Yes, he is low. His strength is actually pretty solid. I'm not gonna say it's great, it's okay. Because he did block Zoro's attacks pre-time skip. Yes, is Zoro much more powerful now? Absolutely. However, NL, his main forte is his duff root ability and his Haki. When it comes to the Haki game, as of today, pre-time skip NL, he is the highest in the category of the Kamboshan Haki subsphere presence. If you don't know what I mean, I did a video on the Kamboshan Haki explaining it in full detail. Go in the description box down below. There'll be a video explaining everything you need to know when it comes to Kamboshan Haki. NL, he is the highest in the subsphere of presence of Kamboshan Haki. No one, not even Rayleigh, is that good in Kamboshan Haki. This dude can hear anything for multiple islands, including parts of the White Sea. I'll say it again. NL can hear anything within a multiple island radius and parts of the White Sea. And on top of that, he did show a bit of precognition as well via intuition, where he knew what Luffy was going to do, and Luffy couldn't hit NL when NL closed his eyes. He couldn't hit him until he did the Gomu Gomu no Tako. So from the Armor Haki game, is he lacking? Probably, absolutely. Nowadays, I would assume that he does have some degree of Armor Haki. Would I say hardy Armor Haki? I can't, I don't know. But I would assume that he does have some Armor Haki to an extent at this current point in time as of 2017. But when it comes to Kamboshan Haki, even still to this day, pre-time to NL, no one is beating him in the present sphere. I'm pretty sure that's only gotten stronger over the course of time. That's number one. Number two, his Devil Fruit is stupidly powerful. Even from the Logia standpoint. From the Logia standpoint, he's of the highest category of Logia. He is an energy Logia. He's plasma. He's lightning. There's only three in that category. There's the fire, the Maramara. There's the light, the Pika Pika, Kizaru's, and then there's NL, the Goro Goro. He is lightning. NL can move at the speed of lightning. He can attack at the speed of lightning. Given certain weather conditions, his DC can catapult itself all the way to island plus, if not multi-island. And it's easy. When this dude does a Raigo, he just does a Raigo. He manipulates the weather itself. He forms the giant sphere, which can vaporize islands. And he does so easy. It's not a big deal. He does the first Raigo, he's not huffing and puffing at all. Does the second bigger Raigo to destroy Skypiea, he's not huffing and puffing at all. He doesn't care. His base attacks are absolutely devastating, where he can casually destroy an entire ruined city and bring it down from the upper area of the giant jack. He can heat up the air so quickly to where he can make a thunderclap, snuffing out a fire attack. He can restart his own heart with his own electricity, and because of his Kamboshan Haki, and he's able to hear the electromagnetic waves of people, so he can hear folks talking in a multi-island radius. This dude can practically smite people from stupid range. This dude's range, he boasts one of the highest ranges in the verse. Top 5 easy in range. He has multi-island range. He doesn't need to be anywhere near you. He can devastate you from hundreds of miles away. Just boom, El Thor, you're smited. I'm sorry. Like NL, he's too good in the other categories to ignore. To simply say, well, his durability is low and his endurance is man. To simply say, well, that's the reason why he's not top 30. That's nuts. He boasts one of the highest DCs in the verse. He boasts one of the highest ranges in the verse. He boasts one of the most devastating powers in the verse. He boasts one of the highest Kamboshan Hakis in the verse. It makes no sense. For folks to knock on NL, to say, well, NL is weak because, again, a pre-Gear Luffy beat him. Not a pre-time skip, but pre-Gear Luffy beat him. Yes, he beat him. But again, that's mainly because of the power matchups. NL was too good. Now, truth be told, Luffy has time lightning in the past. Absolutely. During Skypiea, Luffy did block lightning attack, and he saw it coming, so Luffy can time lightning. But again, from an overall standpoint, how many cats are actually timing lightning in the One Piece verse? Not that many. Not that many. Especially consistently, which NL can output consistently. No. From an overall combat ability standpoint, NL is too good, except in two main things: durability and endurance. And that's really it. So NL, he's top 30. He is most definitely top 30. Now, number 25, Bartholomew Kuma, the Uber Broken. You see, among all the cats I named thus far, Law, Hancock, Magellan, NL, he has the most broken Devil Fruit. And I'm going to assume that over the course of time, he is a bit stronger, despite him being a robot. And what I'm assuming here is Vegapunk has made some more modifications to Kuma's body. His Wapo metal, or whatever you want to call it, is probably stronger, is more durable now than it was previously. That's my guess here. When it comes to Devil Fruit powers, because Kuma can't really train, I can't say that it's upped. So the only thing that I see being stronger in Kuma now is the tech that Vegapunk has infused into Kuma. The guy, as far as you know, has no Haki. I would assume that he has some now, but again, he's a robot. So honestly, Kuma may have no Haki at all. Like, he may not be able to use Commotional Haki or Armor Haki, because again, the dude is practically an android that is being manipulated by the Marine/world government. So I can't say that he has Haki at all. But physically, Kuma is quite powerful. From a durability standpoint, he has probably upped. We do know that Zoro did cut him during Thriller Bark when he was wounded, when he did the Lion song. However, all Kuma did was... that's all he did afterwards. Rolled up his sleeves, fine. Like, not a big deal. Lion song, whatever. So again, his durability is upped. His endurance is stupid. Why? Because he's a robot now. So he defended the Sun Ego for 2 years. What? He defended the Sun Ego for 2 years. From pirates, from Marines, from whatever. He defended it for 2 years. Okay. Alright, so that's crazy. That's nutty. And when it comes to his abilities, he has the ability to reflect anything and everything. Not just physical things, not just energy, but also he can reflect intangible things like pain. If Bartholomew Kuma can reflect pain from Luffy's body, then he can do the same thing for Luffy's joy, for Luffy's hunger, for whatever. If you're feeling depressed, well, here's Bartholomew Kuma. He'll literally smack the depression out of you. No. Kuma broken. Kuma uber broken. The dude can manipulate the air itself via shockwaves because he can inflict the air itself. He's mega fast. We're talking about Rayleigh and Kizaru fighting, and in the middle of that, in warps in Kuma, like, haha, I'm here, hey, gotta talk to Rayleigh real quick. What? Nah, Kuma, very fast. So his speed game is on point. Physically, he's on point. His Devil Fruit, I think, is the most broken among all the ones I mentioned thus far. His durability, I would assume, has upped as well. But his reaction time and speed has dwindled because he is a robot now. So he has to analyze things before he can act. And then on top of that, his Haki game, I doubt, has gone any better, considering his mental state. But Oda did nerf Kuma, and Kuma's number 25. He got nerfed. If this was old school Kuma, he's top 15. Oh, definitely. Definitely top 15. Number 25 is Bartholomew Kuma. Number 24 is Monkey D Luffy. I don't think I need to go over Luffy that much as to why he's on the list, but essentially speaking, Gear 3 and Gear 2 Luffy is actually very powerful. I would say he'd be under Hancock, but above Law still, with a Gear 2, Gear 3 Luffy. Because Gear 2 is fantastic now. He did hone it very well. And Gear 3, the Grizzly Magnum. Holy man, the Grizzly Magnum is a very powerful attack, but it's the Gear 4 that puts Luffy above and beyond. But it has one major obvious drawback: stamina. Luffy overuses Haki to the point where he cannot use Haki for 10 minutes after Gear 4 is done. And for the most part, he's exhausted and can't really do much. He's gotten better with that, yes, but for the most part, Luffy has a stamina problem in Gear 4th. So Gear 4th is what makes Luffy higher on the list, much higher on the list. And in all honesty, Luffy's probably the strongest of the Supernova. We'll get to that soon, obviously, yeah, because I know that's controversial in many folks' mind. Even though it's like a 30-minute time limit on his Gear 4th, it's so damn good. It's where his speed dramatically ups. He's faster in Gear 4th than he is in Gear 2, as far as I understand. His striking strength in Gear 4th is ridiculous. Especially the King Kong gun, wow. The King Kong gun, from a physical standpoint, is one of the most powerful punches in the verse. Definitely. So in the future, when he masters Gear 4th and he has no stamina issue with Gear 4th, man, Luffy is going to be so powerful. So that is number 24, Monkey D. Luffy. Again, the Haki thing, the physical thing, you guys already know by now when it comes to Luffy. So I'm not going to go over that. Now, when it comes to number 23, that is going to be Charlotte Cracker. Luffy is more versatile than Cracker from an ability standpoint. That's true. However, Cracker does boast, potentially speaking, an infinite arsenal. His base, Cracker big bodies, they have durability and strength on par with a Gear 3 Luffy. I'll say it again. His base Cracker bodies have strength and durability on par with a Gear 3 Luffy. And he can clap practically an infinite number of these biscuit bodies. His stamina is fantastic. For 11 hours straight, he fought against Luffy and Nami while his biscuit bodies were nerfed by Nami. But his durability and his endurance are low. He himself states that he hates pain. And essentially speaking, in tank form, Luffy just one-shots him. But to be fair, he did blast him into his own Cracker bodies. That is true, absolutely. However, it was still an effective one-shot nonetheless. His durability is low. His endurance is low. His stamina is high. His range is actually pretty solid if you want to consider the biscuit bodies being manipulated away from him and attacking from range. And then you have his armor Haki, which is on point. It looks like he has Conqueror's Haki, but he does not. It's not Conqueror's Haki. It's like a weird fear version of that, where because he's so powerful and immense, the homies can't really handle his pressure, and as a result, they kind of wither away. But it's not a Conqueror's Haki. His Cambodian Haki, you would assume is solid. And like with Law, he does use a sword, and I think his sword is a Meito, a famed blade, and he's fairly good with that as well. But his armor Haki can pierce through Gear 4 armor Haki skin. But the main thing here is his ability. His ability allows him to make infinite, powerful Cracker bodies, and on top of that, he has a lot of stamina to boot. The guy has, effectively speaking, an infinite army at his disposal. A very powerful infinite army at his disposal. So Cracker, number 23, yeah, for sure. Number 22, Don Quixote Doflamingo. Now, this may seem a bit strange. Why is Flamingo over Cracker? Because you can argue that Cracker did a better job against Luffy than Doflamingo did. However, again, the interplay between characters does not mean that much, because Flamingo's abilities are far more versatile when you look at Cracker, and each one of them is very devastating. From a Haki standpoint, the dude is fantastic. Cambodian Haki, I would say, is pretty damn solid. When it comes to Armored Haki, we know it's pretty good, but Gear 4 Luffy has better Armored Haki. When it comes to Conqueror's Haki, he has that too, and it's very powerful as well, obviously. Physically, he's very good as well, where he can block attacks from Crocodile like nothing. He can block attacks from Luffy and other high tiers like it's nothing. From a durability standpoint, he's not all that high, but he can endure a lot of pain and keep on going. He's kind of a monster like that, almost like a Whitebeard type of thing, where he took massive damage. His internal organs were destroyed by Law, and he was able to fix them with his powers, but keep on going nonetheless. Took big damage from Luffy, the Leo Bazooka, the Kong Gun, and so on and so forth, after taking the Gamma Knife, and still continue to fight. But on top of all of this, his double fruit powers and his abilities are very powerful. He was able to sustain a bird cage that was going to basically destroy the entire country of Dressrosa. He was able to fight against Luffy and Law Company while doing very powerful attacks. Whether it's the Axle Thread or whatever you want to call it that cut off Law's arm, whether it's the Overheat, where previously we saw the Overheat, the attack speed of that is insane. Where he was in Greenbow, and from Greenbow to Dressrosa, it cut through a building. Like, the range and the speed of that Overheat attack is ridiculous. Not only that, but he can use his strings to attach to the clouds and fly around. The strings themselves can cut through practically anything, including a meteorite that was in point blank range. Physically speaking, his speed is on point. There was a meteorite coming at his face, because when Law cut the meteorite, it keeps its momentum because Law does no damage. So Fujitora and Doflamingo both reacted to point blank meteorites in their face. That's nutty. And his strings cut through that easy. And on top of that, the dude is an awakened Paramecia, where he can change the environment itself into strings. Now, Cracker, he has an infinite army of biscuit soldiers that are very powerful, but he has to clap those into existence. Where if Flamingo wants to use hundreds of thousands to millions of strings in an instant, he can do so via awakening. And right then and there, his string count skyrockets. And he can also use armored Haki on those strings like the 16 holy bullets. Flamingo's powers are disgustingly versatile, and each one of them is very powerful. He is very good in the Haki game. Physically, he's stellar. Ability-wise, he's fantastic. One of the only 2 awakened Doflamingo users in the Paramecia spectrum that we see in the verse. Flamingo is a devastating fighter. And even though from a Haki standpoint he lacks, compared to, let's say, Monkey D Luffy, armor Haki-wise at least, everything else, he's too good. He's too good. Speed-wise, reaction-wise, and movement-wise, he's devastating. Ability-wise, he's devastating. Again, he can do all these crazy attacks while sustaining the bird cage. So, Flamingo number 22, most definitely. Most definitely. Now, number 21 is Charlotte Smoothie. And the reason why is very simple. I can say that Flamingo is more powerful than Cracker, but I can't say the same thing for Smoothie. In the future, we'll probably see Smoothie showcase her abilities. And once we see what she can do, then we can say yes or no to if she is more powerful than Flamingo. But for the time being, you cannot say that she is weaker than Flamingo. Therefore, she's over Flamingo at this current point in time. Number 20, Jack. Jack the Drought. Hashtag Mammoth Boys, hashtag Freak of Nature, hashtag 5 days, no sleep, no bathroom breaks. Just that is Jack the Drought. Hashtag Tank. Jack the Drought has durability, stamina, strength, reaction speed. His abilities are standard. His Haki game, you would assume, is on point, at least from the armor Haki standpoint. I can't say his Kambocha Haki is good. I can't say that. His Conqueror's Haki, he probably has none. He is sort of a swordsman, I suppose. I guess he has like these weird cleavers. Yeah, he's not really like a swordsman, but he's kind of a swordsman. It's wonky. But he does have some degree of sword skill. Probably. Yeah, right? Yeah. Probably. His ability is the Mammoth ability. I'm pretty sure he has a hybrid version of the human and mammoth form. So when it comes to an ability standpoint, Zoan at least, he's of the same ilk as Rabaluchi, but I can't really say if he can do any crazy Rokishi stuff. So from an ability standpoint, he is inferior, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because his physical stats are off the charts. Again, his durability, his strength, his endurance are off the charts. His stamina, off the charts. Again, for 5 days, Inu Arashi, Nekomamushi, powerful fighters, could not best Jack the Drought. Jack the Drought, number 20, because physically, he's just too damn good. Now, number 19 is going to be controversial. I know it is. I know. Number 19... Monkey D Garp. Now, how? How is he number 19? Because number 18, I have Sabo. Here's the thing. Garp is a very impressive fighter. We know that pre-time skip. The dude has armored Haki that's very powerful. We know that he has pretty solid reaction speed and movement speed. It's solid. I can't say good, but solid. The guy is one of the pinnacle characters in physical strength. Definitely. One of the pinnacle characters in physical strength. Right here. This iron ball that we saw him throw at Luffy Company after Water 7. Massive iron ball. Stupidly big iron ball. He can throw cannonballs faster than normal speed with ease, like they're baseballs. And a lot of folks would make the argument that he was going to kill Akainu. I'm gonna say no. But him and Akainu would have a pretty damn good fight. And by the way, I do want to clarify this. Even though you have characters that are high on the list, like let's say you have Jozu at number 30 and Garp at number 19, that wouldn't mean that Garp would low diff Jozu. No. Let me be very clear when I say that. Yes, he is 11 ranks higher than Jozu on my list, but it would still be a tough fight. The same with Law, the same with Hancock, the same for Magellan, most definitely. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that just because Sabo is number 18 doesn't mean that he's going to low diff Law, alright? Or even mid diff Law. That's what I'm saying. So, even though Garp has immense physical strength, his durability, I would say, is damn good. His endurance, I would say, is damn good. His speed is damn good. The problem with Garp is that, A, Garp is an old man in One Piece. And when you're old in One Piece, once you hit a certain age, your power tends to plummet. Garp of now is nowhere near Garp of old. The Garp of old, when he beat Don Chinjao, that Garp is top 5. That Garp is taking Judge's spot. But he's not doing that now. On the real, because I never said it, right? Because I never said Judge was top 5, right? Here's the thing. Garp, he's old. And 2 years later, he's only getting older. So in all honesty, his power is probably decreased over time. Not increased, decreased, because that's how One Piece kind of works, where the older guys tend to lose their power compared to when they're much younger. That's number 1. Number 2, Garp's power scheme is really, really linear. As far as you know, Garp is just raw striking strength, raw lifting strength, and armored Haki. Solid durability, and his endurance is pretty up there as well. But consider this. Year 2 Luffy punched Garp, and Garp was bloodied. Now, you can say, hey, hold on now. Garp took the blow purposely. He did. But was he still bloodied? Yes. If he had high durability, like let's say Big Mom, like let's say Diamond Jozu, like let's say Kaito, he takes the blow and is not even phased, not even scratched at all. At all. So his durability is solid, but his endurance, I would say, is more impressive than his durability. But again, his main forte here is raw striking strength. He's top 20 simply because of his raw striking strength, his raw lifting strength, his durability, and his endurance. I cannot give any higher because he lacks so much versatility, because his abilities are very few. Just armored Haki and maybe some Kambochan Haki. That's it. That's it. That's all I can give Garp. Garp, he's too linear of a fighter. It gets him far, absolutely, but in this day and age, when he's only getting weaker over the course of time because he's an old man, yeah, Garp's number 19. And Sabo being over Garp is, simply put this, Sabo has eaten the Mera. Essentially speaking, he has Ace's powers. Now granted, all of them, not all of them yet, but he has the potential to have the Entei, the potential to do the Fire Doll, the Flame Pillar. He's already done the Hiken. Very simple, easy move. He already has it and he already does it. On top of that, his Haki game is on point from an arm Haki standpoint. Duh. He's able to block the Hado elbows quite easily from Jesus Burgess. He has a degree of Kempo. He has the Ryu Shokin. The Ryu Shokin is a degree of martial arts. So he's not just a linear fighter like Garp is, who comes in there, punch. I'm doing actual techniques. Combine that with my arm and Haki, and I'm doing some pretty devastating stuff. Physically, Sabo was awesome from jump. Not as good as Garp, nor near as good as Garp, but physically, he was fantastic. Now that he's had the Mera, his ability spectrum is much, much, much higher than Garp's. Most definitely. Number 17, and here's now where we start getting to the right hands. Number 17 is Shiryu of the Rain. That's iffy because we know that back in the day, Magellan and Shiryu were on par. We know that. However, Shiryu is now the right-hand man of a Yonko, Blackbeard. And because of rank, I can't say because of what we've seen, because of his rank, he has to be high on the list. He's the commander of the first ship of Blackbeard's fleet. And because we know that he's on par with Magellan, he's already going to be top 30 from jump. He's risen in rank to the point where you have to give him a much higher spot than Magellan. It really is that simple. You would assume that his Haki game has gone on point. If it was weaker in the past, it's much stronger now. His Kambochan Haki is on point. His swordsmanship, I don't doubt, is on point. His speed, I don't doubt, is on point. His durability, I don't doubt, is on point. The guy, I'm pretty sure, has on-point abilities, absolutely. But we can't say for sure where he lies among the right hands of Yonko. Therefore, I would give him the lowest spot in the right hand of Yonko's. But you'll see also another reason why later on as I go through the list. But number 17 is City of the Rain. Now, number 17. Rayleigh. Now, a question. Why is Rayleigh over Garp? Yes, Garp beats out Rayleigh in physical strength. Absolutely, he does. Absolutely. In durability, I'm pretty sure he does too. In endurance, I'm not too sure. In stamina, I'm not too sure. However, they are high for Rayleigh. Rayleigh is a master swordsman. He does have ranged attacks. We see that in the archipelago when Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro, they're running away from the Marines, and the Marines are giving chase after the time skip starts. And Rayleigh cuts him off with a flying attack. He does. His abilities, unlike Garp, he boasts one of the highest Kambochan Hakis in the verse. where in the entire island of whatever it was called, where Luffy was training, he was able to sense every creature on the island, and then he knew how powerful they were, and he knew which creatures Luffy couldn't beat. And that was pre-time skip. Now, he has gotten weak over time because he's an old man. Yes, fine, fair enough. But his Kamboshan Haki is on point nonetheless. His Armored Haki is on point, obviously. When it comes to his Conqueror's Haki, according to Ichiro Oda himself, Rayleigh would have knocked out all of the Fishmen in the plaza. His Conqueror's Haki is higher than Luffy's. As far as we know, it is higher than Luffy's. His Conqueror's Haki among the verse so far is top 3. Come on. No. Rayleigh has what Garp lacks, and that is an arsenal. The dude has stamina, we know for sure, because this guy swam from, I think, the archipelago to the Combo Island where Luffy was. He swam there. The dude Phelpsed it all the way. Rayleigh over Garp, definitely. Again, this is going to be controversial to a lot of folks. I understand that. Again, even though Sabo is higher on the list than Garp, that doesn't mean that Sabo would beat Garp in a fight, okay? But from an overall combat ability standpoint, Sabo is superior than Garp. The same goes for Rayleigh, and the same goes for number 15, Sengoku the Buddha. Now, Sengoku, back in the day, it was kind of teased that him and Whitebeard have had major scuffles back in the day. Because Whitebeard, he noted that Sengoku was kind of tricky. So he is used to deal with Sengoku, and vice versa. Now, that's back in the day. Again, current day, Sengoku's an old man, but he was a fleet admiral. But on top of that, his strength was pretty damn solid as far as you know. He did pin down Garp when Garp was enraged. Not a big deal, but still good enough. His Haki game, you would assume, is on point from an Armor Haki standpoint. I cannot speak from a Kamboshan Haki standpoint, but Armor Haki, I would say, definitely is on point. When it comes from a Conqueror's Haki standpoint, he has none as far as you know. However, the dude boasts the most powerful of the Devil Fruit subcategories. Not categories, subcategories. The most powerful category of Devil Fruit are the Logia, but the most powerful subcategory are the Mystic Zoans. The dude is a Mystic Zoan, and not just any Mystic Zoan, he is a deity Mystic Zoan. He's the Golden Buddha. That means this dude is devastating. Even though he's getting older, he still has that Devil Fruit as a foundation for power. And that's a big foundation. You can't ignore that. His Shockwave palms were tying with Blackbeard's Quake Fist. Granted, Blackbeard had just gotten the Devil Fruit, so he's still new to it at that point in time. But nonetheless, this is the Quake Fruit. This is the Guro, and he was tying with that with his palms. His durability in this state, I would assume, is up dramatically, as well as his endurance. I don't doubt at all, considering the physical change that takes place from a regular body to a massive Golden Buddha body. Definitely, Sengoku the Buddha, I would rank over Garp as well, because the Devil Fruit power that he has is very potent. Though he does have that innate weakness that they all have, the Devil Fruit users, where you can't go into a body of water. But is that weakness enough to put him under Rayleigh and under Garp? No. Because again, he boasts the highest of Devil Fruits, the Mystic Zoans. Sengoku, number 15, definitely. Number 14, another Mystic Zoan in the verse, Marco the Phoenix. Now, Marco, he's cut and dry. His speed is awesome. Fast enough to react to Kizaru. His strength is pretty solid, where he can kick Kizaru away and send him into like a section of the city. His range is kind of meh, but again, his speed makes up for that because he does have high mobility speed, definitely. His Hakis are damn solid, where even Akainu's kind of annoyed with Marco. Annoyed, but nonetheless, Marco does have Armored Haki and probably some degree of Kamboshan Haki, but his ability is off the goddamn charts because his ability is the Phoenix. He virtually takes no damage, therefore his endurance, not his durability. His durability, I wouldn't say is all that great, but his endurance is probably the highest in the verse. It's probably the highest in the verse, absolutely. Granted, there is a cap to that, where he can only negate so much damage. But because he can recover from all wounds with his flames, the guy can be cut in half, broken into pieces, but his flames restore him. In mere milliseconds, he's good to go. Kizaru blasted him with several attacks. He did the Yasakai no Magatama, didn't mean much. He took the attacks and kept on flying. he recovered on the spot as he was attacked. So definitely Marco's ability is top tier. And again, he is also a right-hand man, albeit a former Yonko, but still a right-hand man. And his abilities are top-notch in themselves. Physically, he's solid. Haki-wise, he's solid. But it's the ability of the Devil Fruit which propels him above and beyond, and he's a right-hand man. He is Marco the Phoenix, number 14. Number 13, controversial maybe, but my main man, Charlotte Katakuri. Katakuri is an awakened Paramecia, one of only two. He has superb hockey game. Absolutely superb hockey game. Not only is his armored hockey of the second tier or like the next highest tier, and that comes in the form of the block mochi, so his armored hockey from a base standpoint has superb quality. Unlike Luffy, who is quantity but needs a 10-minute break in order to use hockey again, he has no need for that rest because he is all about quality. His Kenbokuno hockey is the highest in the sphere of precognition by a mile for the purpose of combat. There are some fortune tellers like Basil Hawkins, like Madam Shirley, but for the sake of combat, he is the highest in the sphere of precognition Kenbokuno hockey by a mile. Once again, there'll be a link in the box below explaining the spheres of Kenbokuno hockey in full detail. He can see the legitimate de facto future. That means in a one-on-one fight, he is absurdly accurate because he knows what you're going to do before you even do it. And as a result, his Paramecia ability can act like a pseudo-Logia ability because he can pre-break himself or pre-motify himself to avoid massive attacks. Physically, he's stellar. He has enough endurance to endure major attacks from Monkey D. Luffy. Remember how Flamingo was rocked by the Kong gun, and compare that to Katakuri, where Katakuri, he takes the damage absolutely, but he's able to endure, I would say, far better than Dofi. When it comes to his strength, he's awesome. When it comes to his speed is major, man. He's keeping up with Gear 2 Luffy like it's nothing. Like, it's like, whatever, like, just stop, man. Are you crazy? His speed is major, and he's a spearman. He has the mole spear. Katakuri has a vast arsenal when it comes to his abilities, and he is very efficient when it comes to his abilities. He can either capture or kill quite easily. So Katakuri, number 13, the right-hand man of Big Mom, most definitely. Number 13. He deserves that spot. And I know folks want to say, well, Luffy's going to beat him. That doesn't mean that he is overall stronger than Charlotte Katakuri. Not by a landslide. Especially when we look at overall combat ability. The overall combat ability of Charlotte Katakuri is far superior than Luffy or Cracker or Dofi or any of those guys. Would it mean that it's going to be easy to beat those guys? No. But still, his combat ability is, it's ridiculous. That's number 13, Charlotte Katakuri. Number 12, Benny Boy, Ben Beckman. Why? Well, we don't know much about Ben Beckman, obviously. We don't know a lot. You would assume that his hockey game is on point. Devil Fruit game, not too sure. But when you make Kizaru like, yo, when you make Kizaru pause like that, you have my attention. Ben Beckman, number 12. We'll get to the main reason why later on in the video. So, number 11, I'm going to have Greenbow. Greenbow, when we say unknown characters aren't allowed into the list, Greenbow is an exception because we know that he has the Admiral rank. Therefore, he has to be on the top tier, just by rank and rank alone. You see, there are certain ranks that are solid, like the Yonko Admirals, and then there are other ranks that are very malleable, like the Shichibukai and like the Supernova, where you can have Shichibukai like Buggy and Kuma. There's a massive power gap between Buggy and Kuma, but they're both Shichibukai. Most definitely, Admirals are a very solid rank, and Flamingo said that Greenbow was a monster like Fujitora. So Greenbow is going to be number 11 at Admiral rank. I'm giving the lowest Admiral rank because in all honesty, we don't know how powerful he is. So number 11 on the safe side, Greenbow. Number 10, Kizaru the Pika Pika. No me. Now this shocked me because I thought that Kizaru would be over number 9, Fujitora. However, even though Kizaru is the fastest dude in the verse, even though his DC is amazing, his hockey is solid, His strength, I would assume, is very good, but his abilities are absolutely devastating. But when you look at the power scheme of Kizaru and Fujitora, even though he lacks the speed, his gravity rings. Okay, consider this. NL boasts probably one of the highest ranges in One Piece. Where the hell, where on God's green earth is Fujitora pulling these meteorites from? Think about that for a second. Where on God's green earth is Fujitora pulling these meteorites from? Gravity has the potential to even suck in light itself. I'm not gonna say black hole because there are very, very, very few true black holes in anime and manga, period. But Fujitora's gravity rings can potentially surpass the speed of even Kizaru's light. Because again, where is he pulling these meteorites from? Like deep space? I don't know. Is there an asteroid field near their planet? I don't know. We don't know. He just put meteorites, boom. What? The dude can make horizontal gravity waves, bending space itself and attacking in that fashion, like the Raging Tiger. The dude, Fujitora, has Kamboshan Haki of a very high degree. Haki-wise, Kizaru's solid, but that's all he is, solid. Him, Akainu, Aokiji, they blocked Whitebeard's attack, his shockwave attack via Haki. Fair enough, but Kamboshan Haki-wise, we know that Fujitora is good. And Haki-wise, he's also solid as well. His gravity rings are abnormally fast. His range is piss disgusting. Granted, Kizaru's range too, but arguably, Fujitora's range is even bigger than Kizaru's range. He probably has the greatest range in the entirety of the verse. Again, where is he pulling these meteorites from? I don't know. I don't know. They come out of the ether, just ring, zoom, like what? Nah, Fujitora, yeah, he's number 9. He's over Kizaru. Yeah, he's over Kizaru. It's crazy because this guy's nutty. Number 8, Dracul Mihawk. I think he's in the gap between Admiral and Yonko. I know some folks want to say that he's as strong as Shanks. No, I'm sorry. All right, when Shanks and Mihawk met in actual manga and canon, you get the sense that Mihawk doesn't want to fight against Shanks. Now, some folks want to say, well, that's an honorable thing. All right, fine. You can say don't fight against a one-handed man. Let's keep it real here, all right? This dude wanted to test his power against Whitebeard. He wanted to see how far he was from the world's most powerful man at that time, or in the past, Whitebeard. Shanks and Whitebeard tied in strength when they had their little meeting. And as far as we know, Mihawk has no Conqueror's Haki, as far as we know. And it's safe to assume that he actually doesn't, but again, I'll get to Conqueror's Haki in another video. Believe you me, I will get to Conqueror's Haki in another video, and that video will put some cats on tilt as well, most definitely. But Mihawk is number 8. Number 7. I'm not even trolling, bro. I'm not even trolling, all right? Though granted, when I did see pictures of Dragon, I saw that one. That one I thought was really funny, so I put it on there. Yeah, I'm not trolling. I'm not trolling. I'm not trolling at all. No. 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 Number 7, Monkey D. Dragon. I'm going to explain the reason why he's number 7 really soon. But first, we'll get through the next 6, because the controversy doesn't stop there. Number 6 is the red dog Akainu. Number 5 is Aokiji, the blue pheasant. So the controversy ain't stopping, clearly. Number 4 is Blackbeard. Number 3 is Bigu Mamu, the warrior. Number 2 is Yonko Kaito. And number 1 is red hair Shanks. And that is the top 30 strongest characters list. We have to run through this, obviously, because there's a lot of controversy there. Considering Shanks being over Kaito, considering Big Mom being over Blackbeard, considering what we saw in the latest chapter of One Piece Watch, chapter 890, and then also considering how we have Aokiji over Akainu, even though Aokiji lost to Akainu. But I did a video on that too. Way back when. So I'll put that video link in the box as well. And Dragon being number 7 under Akainu and Aokiji, where folks I know have at number 1. A lot to talk about there, so let's get through it quickly. The reason why I have Shanks over Kaito is simply put, the lore of Shanks and the lore of Kaito are both big. Shanks was on Roger's ship. According to Ichiro Oda, has conquered Haki strong enough to actually knock out all the fishermen on Fisherman Island in that plaza. We know that Shanks had tied against Whitebeard in strength. We know that Shanks and Kaito had an engagement, and Shanks still went over to Marineford, and we know that Shanks stopped the war. Now, Shanks has more feats, I would argue, than Kaito, where Kaito just fell. Oh my god. Kaito just fell. He fell 10K, brush it off. Easy. And he did throw these guys off the island. Like, literally, these 2 fighter guys. Oh, no, he didn't throw. But he hit them off the island. So his strength is immense. And on top of that, Kaito has his whole backstory of not being able to be destroyed or beaten. He was captured by the Marines, and he was captured by the Yonko several times, but they couldn't kill him. The guillotines would break, the spears would shatter, and so on and so forth. He sank 9 battleships. So Kaito has some extensive stuff. But all in all, it comes down to how you perceive the actions and how you perceive the lore. My thing here is that Shanks and Kaito, they had an altercation, and even still, Shanks was able to arrive at Marineford, and you had a bloodlusted, rage-induced Akainu. You had a Blackbeard on a power high. Many top tier cats were there, and they all said, "Whoa, Shanks. Whoa, wait, hold on, time out, stop. Wait, hold on, whoa, it's Shanks." All right, okay, you know what? Yeah, we gotta cut it right here now. Blackbeard himself admits that back then, when he had just gotten the Guro no Mi, the power to tilt the very oceans themselves, and he had the Yami no Mi, he was on a power high. He had no problems fighting against Sengoku or Garp. He had no problems at all fighting against those guys. But Shanks, we ain't ready. We are not ready for Shanks. You see, the number 1 spot in the verse, Kaito and Shanks, it's interchangeable. Because I can see why folks have Kaito as number 1. Easy. I can see why, definitely. In a one-on-one fight, Kaito won't lose. The man has epic lore, truly. But when you look at the actual actions that we see in the verse so far, Shanks has more. And what Shanks has done has been substantial. Majorly substantial. And it's very possible, and it's probably the case, where his Conqueror's Haki is the highest of the verse. Him simply being in an area damages that said area, if he wills it. When it comes to Shanks and Kaito, those 2 are either number 1 or number 2. I can't see anybody else being number 1 or number 2. Honestly, it is really interchangeable. Really interchangeable. Those 2 are the top 2 in the verse so far, I would say. Definitely. Either Shanks or Kaito. And plus, Shanks is not a Doflamingo user, as far as you know. Therefore, he can find the sea just fine, too. Kaito, he probably is, and therefore the sea is his weakness. But at the same time, you have to wonder, if he wants to die, how come he just won't jump into the ocean? So I do have to wonder. Big Mom being number 3, I think is most definite. Blackbeard's a young Yonko, meaning from rank. He just got the rank of Yonko. He still hasn't learned how to use the Guro no Mi that well, definitely. And the Yami no Mi is good enough to where he can be ace, so that's been honed, definitely. I'm pretty sure he has a lot of Haki now too, most definitely. And I actually want to say this too. Kaito and Shanks, over the course of time, because they're not that old, I'm pretty sure they have gotten a bit stronger. Not a bit stronger. Not that much stronger, but a bit stronger. But Big Mom, when she's healthy and fat, when she's healthy and fat, Christ, man. She boasts the highest durability in the verse. Maybe Kaito beats her in that. Maybe. But Big Mom, at this point in time, from what we've seen, boasts the highest durability in the verse. Big Mom has also an arsenal when you have Prometheus, Napoleon, and Zeus. Whether it's lightning, whether it's fire and changing the weather, whether it's doing crazy cognac sword techniques, she has the Dory and Brogy Elbath spear as a base attack. Well, that's stupid. Like, Big Mom is stupidly powerful. With Zeus, she has disgusting mobility. It's like, no, mama. Like, oh my god. And her powers affect a huge area. The entirety of Toland is affected by her abilities. She manipulates soul/life force itself. Like, Big Mom has broken powers, but so does Blackbeard. Blackbeard's powers with the Yami no Mi, he negates devil fruits. He negates devil fruits. Not even fair. But I have to give the edge to Big Mom. Big Mom, I think it's over Blackbeard currently, honestly. And he maybe has gotten a third fruit, or he's still waiting on the right fruit to actually get. But right now, I'm going to say Big Mom over Blackbeard. Aokiji over Akainu. Over Dragon. Let's start with this right here. Simply put, Akainu does beat Aokiji in a fight. Yes, that happened. Aokiji's counter is not magma, it's fire. And since magma in this world is the superior of fire, then Aokiji fending off against Akainu for 5 days in a row is very impressive. Because essentially speaking, he's fighting at a big disadvantage against Akainu. But the end result here was them permanently changing the weather Punk Hazard and the surrounding seas around Punk Hazard, making a volcanic mountain range and an ice mountain range. However, this is, once again, a list gauging overall combat ability of characters. Aokiji, he is in a world that benefits him more so than any other character in the verse. Why? Because the world of One Piece is a water world. That's the reality of the matter. Let me keep it real here. Akainu, if he were to fall into the water, I don't doubt he can make a magma platform and then stand on that just fine. A big landmass. I don't doubt it. This dude, by simply touching the water, it benefits him. The water benefits Aokiji in combat because he's ice. The Ice Age, he dips his fingers into the water, and for dozens, if not hundreds of miles, this dude is able to freeze all of that water. Iceberg thick. Killing anything that's in that range. That's the reason why we put Aokiji over Akainu. Because Akainu is ferocious. His strength is immense. His endurance is immense. We saw that with Whitebeard. His Haki, I would assume, is on point as well. The same goes for Aokiji. But Aokiji, when it comes to abilities, he directly benefits from the world of One Piece itself. And that is undeniable. Even on land, they tie. The end result of Punk Hazard, from a geological standpoint, they tie. They tie. And he has a disadvantage against Akainu. Yeah. As crazy as that sounds, the reality is within the world of One Piece, Aokiji has the advantage. Just how in the water, Jinbei is much more powerful as opposed to being outside of the water. In the water or on water, Aokiji has an absurd advantage. And that's the reality of the matter. Even on land, he can tie with a superior element of Devil Fruit. He's a solid base Logia. He's a liquid one. Kainu has the durability and the strength. Aokiji has the speed. And from the Haki standpoint, he's shown more because he was able to sense Diamond Jozu coming his way. Whereas Akainu, we never really seen him use Kembojan Haki to that same extent. So essentially speaking, yeah, I'm giving my edge over to Aokiji. And that's what I said before. The interplay between characters doesn't really mean that much because this is overall combat ability. But the water world is to his benefit massively. It's ridiculous. So yes, Aokiji over Akainu in overall combat ability within the world of One Piece, most definitely. Aokiji number 5, Akainu number 6, Dragon number 7. Listen, Dragon is actually a bigger unknown than Shanks when it comes to his powers. But if we look at Sabo and his Ryusoken, we give Dragon the Ryusoken. We give Dragon weather manipulation. Because folks want to say that Dragon was the one that saved Luffy in Logtown. I'll give him that. I will grant him that. I will give him the wind wave that we saw in the Goa Kingdom in the Jungle area. I will grant him all these things. The fact of the matter is that the main reason why people rank Dragon so high is because Dragon is the most notorious man, or i.e. the world's most wanted man. The translation I know differs when it comes to him being the most wanted man in the world, but despite that, Dragon has the highest bounty in the world. The problem is, we all know that bounty is not a clear indication of strength. Why? Baron Tamago has a higher bounty than Roronoa Zoro. If you were a betting man between Baron Tamago and Roronoa Zoro, who are you betting on? Zoro or Tamago? If you were a betting man or woman, who would you bet on? Baron Tamago or Roronoa Zoro in a fight? Very few people would bet on Tamago. Very few people would bet on Tamago for an obvious reason. So when we have the world's most wanted man, yes, we know from that standpoint he's devastating. But we also know that he's the only major adversary in the One Piece world that is actively trying to see the destruction or the downfall of the world government. Once again, he's the only major power in the One Piece world that we know of that is actively seeking the destruction or the downfall of the world government, which is why CP0 are always on the lookout. It is obvious that the world government are going to give him the highest bounty because this guy is actively seeking their demise and he has substantial power to back it up. But how powerful is that power? We really don't know. Again, Dragon hasn't shown much. But because Dragon hasn't shown that much, how can we then just grant him the #1 spot? Now, I do want to add an addendum to this video talking about Monkey D. Dragon and why people rate him so highly. Because it is very apparent that when it comes to actual feats, when it comes to what we've seen Dragon do thus far, we have very, very little. I would argue that Kaito has showcased more than Monkey D. Dragon. Shanks definitely has showcased more than Monkey D. Dragon, as well as the other Yonko, as well as Aokiji and Akainu showcasing way, way more than Monkey D. Dragon. Yet folks would rate him over all of them, including Mihawk and Fujitora and the rest and so on and so forth. So if the reason is, let's say, not just bounty, but something else on top of bounty, what is that something else? And that something else comes down to two P's. It comes to prestige and it comes to plot. Now, from a prestige standpoint, Monkey D. Dragon has a lot going for him. That's undeniable. And prestige does matter in a series like One Piece, or I would say many shonen. I think any shonen prestige kind of matters, where you have him being the father of Monkey D. Luffy, a very famous pirate that is a supernova and is a well-renowned pirate at this point in time. And then you have him being the son of a very, very famous marine that would have confrontations with the Pirate King himself, Goldie Roger, and of course that is Monkey D. Garp. So from that standpoint of prestige, his grandfather is very famous, his son is very infamous, and he himself is the leader of the Revolutionary Army, a group that is very powerful, where CP0 and other Cypher Poles are probably monitoring at all times. And their end goal, once again, is to take down the world government in some way, shape, or form. At least that's what we know for the time being. So from a prestige standpoint, Monkey D. Dragon has a lot going for it. But then on top of that, we have the plot standpoint, where it is very obvious that Monkey D. Dragon is going to play a major, major role later on in the story. Now, what that role is exactly, no one knows. It could be an adversary role against the Stroyats, or it could be an ally role. It appears that Oda is leaning more towards an ally role, considering how Sabo and Koala, and even Robin, who was a part of the Red for 2 years, they're all allies of Luffy. So it would be kind of strange if Monkey D. Dragon himself was not. But again, we'll have to see how that rolls later on. But from a plot standpoint, we do know that Monkey D. Dragon has weight, and he's going to play a major role in the story later on. Whether it's as early as the Reverie, or it's going to be much later on to story, like let's say even during the final war, the final arc of One Piece, it could be that far down the line. But Monkey D. Dragon is on the move, and he is gathering his generals. So Monkey D. Dragon has weight in plot and weight in prestige. But what is stunning to me is that people think with that weight, on top of adding him having the highest bounty, those things alone are enough to give him the title of somewhere in the top 4. Let alone the #1, the strongest character in the verse spot. That to me, I think, is insanity. Honestly, I think it really is nutty to say, okay, well, because of plot and plot alone, Monkey D. Dragon is the strongest character. Because if you use that same argument, then Akainu and Blackbeard are ahead of Monkey D. Dragon in terms of plot. Because Blackbeard is being built up as Luffy's main rival to the One Piece, essentially, and they're both D's. I mean, Blackbeard himself even said to himself, kind of, or I think he said to Blackbeard himself, I forget, but he said that the man Roger's waiting for is not you, Teach. And then there was this whole symbolic thing in the anime where you have like a petal touch Ace's bead when he dies, and then it goes over to Luffy when he's unconscious. That whole thing of symbolism right there. And it's essentially speaking, Blackbeard's going to be Luffy's main rival and adversary when it comes to at least fighting the One Piece. It could potentially go beyond that. We know that Whitebeard stated that there's going to be a war after the One Piece is found. It's going to be a war for the world, essentially. And it's probably going to encompass the entire world. And the world government, of course, is going to be a part of that war, as well as the Marines. And the guy who headlines that is probably going to be Akainu, who is the current fleet admiral of the Marines. Just how you can argue that Sengoku kind of headlined the Marine-Forward War, well, Akainu will probably do the same thing in his final great massive war for the right of the world, I suppose. So you have Akainu, you have Blackbeard. From a plot standpoint, from an overall story plot standpoint, they have more weight than Monkey D. Dragon. Now, if you want to argue with me, all right, fine. Like, I'm down for that argument. Fine, fair enough. But I would definitely say it is ill-advised to say from plot and plot alone, this character is going to be stronger than these other high and top-tier characters. I think that's really ill-advised, considering how there's sleeping monsters like Katakuri that exist throughout the entire One Piece world, and we have no idea where to really gauge them at this point in time. Like, again, we have the right-hand man of Kaito, who's God knows how powerful. We have people that have broken abilities, and again, this is a list of the strongest overall combat ability. Again, I give Dragon the Ryusoken. I give Dragon weather manipulation. I give Dragon immense Haki. I'll give him all these things that I think he probably does have. But the fact of the matter is that these are just things that I can think, but there's no real way to really gauge them. The Ryusoken you can kind of gauge off of Sabo. Fair enough. The weather manipulation we've seen, but we've seen other characters do better so far. We've seen NL do much better. Big Mom do better casually. Aokiji, Akainu do way better when it comes to manipulating the weather. So that's no longer a very impressive feat to grant him the top #1 spot, even if his area of effect is bigger. Let me be very, very clear when I say this. Even if his area of effect is bigger, and this dude can do some hurricane stuff, we have a dude who has the power to literally tilt the very oceans themselves. And the entirety of the One Piece world felt quakes. They felt tremors when Whitebeard was tilting the oceans. Whitebeard's area of effect was planetary, if not nigh planetary. Blackbeard has the same power, and he is much younger and much more bolder than Whitebeard. So when it comes to area of effect, he loses in that category, even if he can manipulate the weather and do some hurricane stuff and cyclones. Again, we have the guy who can instantly freeze hundreds of miles of water into ice, iceberg thick, but Dragon's still #1 because, well, he's important. Madness. Absolute madness. So listen, if you want to give him the #1 spot, fine. To me, I need a lot more. I'm sorry. I just need a lot more than just, oh, well, the plot. The plot is designed for Vegapunk to play a massive role in the future of the story. A huge role. Because according to Oda, Vegapunk is going to be the major person to talk about the devil fruits. That's huge. Is Vegapunk now on the same tier as Big Mom? Like, are we going to give Vegapunk, like, island level DC feats and stuff like that? And speed of light movement? Because Vegapunk has a huge role to play in the story? Now, come on now, dog. Like, that's crazy. Yes, Dragon's powerful. I gave him the rank over Mihawk. And I think a lot of folks would find that daring. Because I know a lot of folks think that Mihawk is absurdly powerful. But I think those people that believe that Mihawk is in the top 3, I think they have more of a right to believe that than Dragon being the strongest person in the verse. I'll say it again. The folks that believe that Mihawk is top 3 in the One Piece world, I think they have more of a claim than Dragon being the #1. Again, you can disagree with me, that's fine. That's fair. Dragon's already top 10, but he's top 10 because of plot and prestige. His plot and prestige takes him to the top 10. To the top 10. And from what we've seen thus far, with Dragon, I gauge him over Mihawk, but I'm not going to give him Aokiji spot in the top 5. Nor will I give him any of the Yonko spots. No. Especially when they dominate the most dangerous part of their globe, the New World. The Yonko are the top 4. Everything so far has been pointing to that. If you want to give Dragon that much weight because of plot and prestige, then have at it. But to me, I think that's absolute madness. Dragon, his rank is impressive via his title, but at the same time, it's not enough. It's really not enough, honestly. So, cats, all in all, Dragon, powerful dude, absolutely. I don't doubt it at all. But I need to see a lot more. I need to see a lot more. That being said, I am done with the top 30 list. You can say it's trash. Fine, fair enough. I want to see your list. Debate, by all means. I'm going to do a stream on this one on a few days' time on Twitch. Hold on. That reminds me. Before we end the video, the honorable mentions. Weevil. Listen. I'm not buying the hype. I need to see more from Weevil. I want to see him fight against Marco. That'll be a good indication as to how powerful Weevil is, honestly. But Weevil's getting a lot of hype from Kizaru. Let's wait and see. Vista. Powerful guy. He's honorable mention, definitely. He fought against Mihawk, albeit it was a casual match, but still, he is a well-recognized fighter, definitely. The Mad Monk. Sanji and Zoro. Yes, both of them, because they're both equally as powerful from an overall compatibility standpoint. If you disagree, listen. If you disagree that Sanji and Zoro are not equally as powerful from an overall compatibility standpoint, then I have no idea what you've been reading for the past 7, 8, 9 years. I have no idea. Kong. Okay, here's the thing. Kong, from a rank standpoint, should be top 5. Straight up. Yes, he should be. He really, really, really should be. The problem with Kong I have, though, is Kong is an old man. He was Fleet Admiral before Sengoku was. And currently, he is Commander-in-Chief of the world government. Even though his rank is massively high, I can't say if Kong is really that powerful. I don't doubt it, but we need to see more. Like, Kong is a big mystery. Again, he's an old man. Gotta see a lot more from Kong. Kid. Oh boy. Yeah, I would see Kid being a topic here. My problem with Kid, because people, again, want to look at the Shichibukai as a rank, not noticing that the rank is very malleable, Kid has not shown enough, not nearly enough, whether it was pre-time skip or post-time skip, to say that he is stronger than Law, let alone Luffy. Yes, he was among that trio, the 3 captains that we need to focus on the most among the Supernova. In the pre-time skip, we saw Kid make a giant metal arm that was of the same size of Luffy's giant arm, and then they both did a combo move. But Kid's powers are electromagnetic and situational. So if there's no metal around Kid, what can Kid do? I don't know. But he has Haki, I don't doubt, absolutely. Conqueror's Haki, I don't know. When it comes to his strength, I don't know. He can control metal via his powers. And what else? Another addendum to the video, Kid kind of suffers the same thing that Dragon does, where because he's shown so little in both pre and post time skip, we have to use story plot as a means of gauging Kid's overall combat ability. That just sounds wrong. It really does sound wrong to gauge a character's overall combat ability simply by using plot and very, very little that we can actually see them do. Mind you, the rank, like with Dragon, that rank is not set in stone because the bounty system is not a good indication of strength. We all know that. And like with Kid, yeah, he's one of the highest supernova from a bounty standpoint, but even within the rank of the supernova and having the highest bounty among the supernova, at least pre-time skip, post-times I forget honestly, even that is not enough to gauge his overall combat ability because we don't know where his strengths lie. He could have phenomenally broken abilities, but his physical strength and his speed are mid-tier at best. So yeah, he's a high rank because he has broken abilities, but from an overall combat ability standpoint, we have no idea where he lies from a physical strength standpoint, from a speed standpoint, from a durability standpoint, from an endurance standpoint, from a stamina standpoint, from a range standpoint. There's just too many things. There's too many things that we have to gauge for overall combat ability to then simply say, well, plot and plot alone is necessary for us to say that this character is top 30 or top 10. And keeping it real here, from the standpoint of plot and prestige, right now, Urouge has way more than Kid. Urouge, Brule downgraded Kid, but hyped the living piss out of Urouge. So when folks say now Urouge is on a higher tier than Kid, from a plot and prestige standpoint, they're not really wrong. Now, Oda has bigger intentions for Kid, that is very obvious. But for the time being, as of the end of 2017, early 2018, Urouge, from a plot and prestige standpoint, has superseded Kid. Let's hold off on that one, most definitely. And again, I know a lot of folks want to say, well, in the future, Kid's going to be a major adversary against Luffy. Maybe, or it could be an ally, because there's still a slew of adversaries to come for Luffy and company. No doubt about that, most definitely. Kid, I hate to say it, but we need to see so much more from Kid before we can properly gauge Kid and say he's going to be over Law, let alone over Luffy. Definitely. Jinbei is powerful, yes. Jinbei, when he's out of water, I would say he's weaker than Sanji and Zoro overall. But when he's in the water, I would say he's stronger than Sanji and Zoro overall. Definitely. Next is Ivankov. Ivankov is a devastating fighter, no doubt. And then we have Ino Arashi and Nekomamushi. When they're in their Sulong states, they're gonna be scary. And that right there are the honorable mentions, and that is the top 30 strongest characters in One Piece as of 2017. Give me your list. The video is long, I do know that, but give me your list. What do you guys guys think about this whole thing? Of course, be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do because I know that you all have a device called Zamaosu, and you use Zamaosu to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell to join the squad. Comment, leave me your list. Long video. If you got through the entire video, awesome, good stuff. And I'm going to catch you guys and gals later. Peace, and have a nice goddamn day. And by the way, there will be a stream discussing my top 30 list on Twitch. I'll be talking to Brago, probably Dustin and Ty and other cats about this list, because this list is going to have some people reeling. I know for a fact. Have a nice goddamn day.